physical state, solid, liquid and gas. Here we will learn that how this matter can be classified. Basically, if we are taking few examples, so say I am having sample of salt crystal. I am adding that into water. So one solution will be prepared, and I am having a piece of iron. I am having oxygen cylinder. How these are classifying? So for classifying the matter from all these examples, we can classify that into two types. One is pure substance, another is mixtures. In day-to-day life, in practical life, we are used to that if something unwanted element is mixed with some other element or some other substance, we are saying that it is not pure. That means we are saying that it is adulterate. For example, milk. Milk is having some unwanted chemicals in that. Ghee, butter, oil. It is not like that only liquids are having adulteration. Nowadays, red chili powder, turmeric powder and so many other substances are there which we are using, which is having some unwanted components in that. The air we are breathing, is it pure? No. It is also not pure. But here we are not talking about adulteration. Scientifically, we can divide pure substances into two types. One is element, another is compound. What is that? Elements. Elements are having same type of atoms, and compounds are having different types of atoms in that. How to understand this? So say just now, as I had given the example of air which we are breathing, we are breathing actually oxygen. So oxygen, whatever the amount of oxygen I will take, if I will fill oxygen in a small bottle, if I will fill oxygen in a cylinder, or if I am having a chamber of oxygen, then in all that substances we will find only one type of atom, and that's why it is considered as element. But what about water? So if we are writing water, then water will have two elements in that. One is oxygen, another is hydrogen. So scientifically, water is having different types of atom of oxygen as well as of hydrogen, but it is also considered as pure substance. Let us understand why it is considered as pure substance. So few more example, water, then say salt. Salt is having sodium and chlorine in that. Let us say glucose. Glucose is containing carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in that. So From the chemical formula, we can see that glucose, salt, water are having sodium, chlorine, carbon, hydrogen or oxygen in it. But still they are the pure substances. And obviously individually, hydrogen gas, chlorine gas, iron metal, potassium metal, magnesium, zinc, copper, the wires of copper we are able to see. So all that are also considered as pure substance. So the difference between these two, as we have discussed just now, that elements are having only one type of atoms. For example, the element of iron will have the atoms of Fe only. The substance oxygen, element oxygen, will contain only one type of atom, that is oxygen. Metal sodium will contain same type of atoms, that is of sodium. And compounds are having different types of atoms like NaCl, H2O or C6H12O6. But all these compounds are having the fixed proportion of all these elements. So the difference between element and compound, that elements are having only one type of atoms and compounds are having different types of atoms, but they are always in the fixed proportion. That same compound NaCl and H2O we are mixing. So that becomes mixtures, because mixtures do not have fixed proportion. Any amount of salt I can add in water. Based on the configuration, based on the system which is made by that solution, the mixture is of two types. One is homogeneous and second is heterogeneous. Now again, homo means same, equal, and second hetero, that means not same, unequal. Here we are talking about the composition of the solution. As I said just now, that if I am adding salt plus water and in another jar I am taking water and I am adding sand in it. I am mixing some sand in that. Yes, all of you are right that the solution of salt and water will be transparent. We cannot separate the salt crystals out of that without any physical process. But sand particles, they can be seen with the naked eyes. And that's why the composition of the solution is non-uniform. So heterogeneous mixtures are having non-uniform composition, means sand will remain on bottom and water will remain on upper side. While in the solution of salt and water, at every point or every part we can see the same composition. If I will test the salt water from the bottom, I will have the same test. If I am taking 1 spoon of water from the middle or upper portion, the test of that solution will be same everywhere, and that's why it is known as homogeneous mixture. Now, the last classification of elements. Elements are also divided into three parts, that is metal, non-metal and metalloid. One example of that I am giving just now, and in our next video we will discuss the physical properties of metal and afterwards the chemical properties of the metals and non-metals. The metal examples are sodium, copper, potassium, gold and silver. Non-metals, normally all the gases are non-metals like oxygen, chlorine, nitrogen, hydrogen, likewise. 7 substances are metalloids, means they are having the properties of metals as well as non-metals in different situations. And the example of that is boron, gallium, arsenic, sulfate crystals like this. These are the copper sulfate crystals. And if we are having sugar, lemon juice, that all becomes our solute. That we are dissolving in water, so water is our solvent. Now, the definition of concentration of solution. Concentration of solution is the amount of solute present in a given quantity of solution. The example is given to us if we are having 30 gram of sugar and it is dissolved in 370 gram of water. What will be the concentration of the solution? We are having the formula of concentration of solution is equals to mass of solute divided by mass of solution multiplied with 100. So mass of solute over here is 30. Mass of solution, as we have written over here, mass of solution is equals to mass of solute plus mass of solvent. So we will get 30 plus 370 multiplied by 100. Simplifying that, we are getting 30 upon 400 into 100, and after cancellation we are getting the answer 7.5%. So we can say that concentration of the sugar in this solution is 7.5%. Every time it is not like that we are having one solid and one liquid in the mixture. As we have seen over here, copper sulfate and iron fillings, we can have copper sulfate crystals and chalk powder. So that becomes the heterogeneous mixture, and besides that, it is also possible that we can have one liquid dissolved in another liquid. In that situation, this quantity mass will be replaced by volume. Let us see one example of that also. The question is given to us, if 2 ml of acetone is a liquid compound is present in 45 ml of aqueous solution, calculate the concentration of the solution. Now we will have the formula concentration of solution equals to volume of solute divided by volume of solution multiplied by 100. Here it is given that 2 ml acetone is present in 45 ml of aqueous solution. Aqueous, aqua, that is related with water. So we are having the solution's volume total as 45. and in that 2 ml of acetone is present. So substituting the value 2 upon 45 multiplied by 100 gives us 200 upon 45 equals to 4.4%. That means the concentration of acetone in this solution is 4.4%.
आभार।